Hey, Justin here from Experiment-A-Me, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about critical thinking. Now, critical thinking is a skill that you need to develop. Critical thinking is what I use to solve problems, and you can use to solve problems too, even hard problems. Okay, so there are a few steps that go into critical thinking. So, what is critical thinking exactly? It's actually evaluating the situation that you're dealing with, and then figure out ways to understand it better, maybe come up with things to try to get a better understanding. Also, things to try to solve the problem that is at hand. Okay, so there's 5 steps basically that I follow when I'm trying to do critical thinking and problem solving. Okay, so the first one is I need to evaluate the situation. Okay, so when you're evaluating, there are 3 things that I look at. So number 1 is, what's the history of the situation? Okay, sometimes that can add valuable insights into your understanding of the situation. Number 2 is, do you have specific knowledge of the situation? And or do you know somebody who does? Number 3 is, have you had previous experience with something like this, something similar? Okay. Okay, so I use these 3 things, history, knowledge, and experience, to come up with a way to, um, well, to create an experiment that I can try that will help me get a better understanding of the situation. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to say test. Next, I run the test or experiment to gather data. Once I have the data, I try to use that to inform my opinion or my understanding of the situation. Or draw conclusions. Okay. And then last is, do I have a complete understanding of the situation? Do I understand it completely so that I can solve the problem that presents itself? So if I don't have the solution, then what I do is I go back up here using the new knowledge that I got by running the test or experiment, gathering the data, and then increasing my understanding. Now I'm going to talk about an example of how I would use this in a real life situation. And this is kind of a simple situation, but I think it's a good example. Okay. Number 1, so you're at the kitchen sink doing dishes or whatever, and you notice the drain is starting to back up. Okay, so here's my situation. Is drain plugged? Okay, so now I evaluate. Is there history behind why the drain is clogged? You know, did I let something go down the drain that was likely to get caught up in the pipes? Next, do I have specific knowledge of plumbing that I can use to figure out how to clear the drain. Do I have experience doing this before? So those are the three things. Next, I run a test. In this case, I'm going to grab a plunger to see if I can clear the drain with the plunger. Okay? I collect data. While I'm plunging, after I'm plunging, okay, did the plunger work? Is the drain flowing now? Let's say that it is. And so then you would go to increased understanding. I figured out that the drain could be plunged. It worked. It's clear. Or, no, the plunger didn't work. That also leads to increased understanding. Now I know that the clog is harder than what can be solved with a plunger. So I go back up here, I evaluate based on that new understanding of the problem, that it's harder than I thought initially. Okay? If I don't have any other experience with plumbing, I might stop there and say, okay, the solution to this problem is to call a plumber. Based on my experience though, I might have other things that I would like to try to fix this problem. You know, maybe the drain is going down slowly, and so I can see, okay, before I plunged it, it was dropping at 1 inch per minute, let's say, and after plunging, maybe it drops faster, or maybe it drops even slower, okay? In which case, we could say that maybe plunging caused the clog to get in there tighter, so now it's draining even slower. In any case, these are the steps that I use to think critically about a situation. And it doesn't have to be a hard situation. You know, I can go through these steps pretty quick if it's a simple problem. But if it's a hard problem, I'm going to want to focus on each one of these things and really come up with ideas about how to best gain more knowledge about the current situation so that I can use that knowledge and my previous experience to solve the problem. That's all I have for today. Thanks.